Okay, so we're diving deep into power electronics engineering, huh? You're interested in circuits, power systems, maybe even thinking about how to make energy use smarter and more sustainable. Well, you're looking into this field at a really interesting moment.
What's really striking is that it's not just about the tech itself. We're seeing projections from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They're predicting a 6% growth in this sector by 2026.
Wow, 6%. That's significant growth.
It is outpacing a lot of other fields, which tells you something about where we're heading as a society.
Yeah, for sure. Everything's going electric, relying more and more on these sophisticated power systems. But let's break it down a bit. What does a power electronics engineer actually do day to day? I mean, it's got to be more than just circuits, right?
Oh, absolutely. The stuff you shared really highlighted that a power electronics engineer, they're designing, testing, and really driving the implementation of the systems that control and convert electrical energy. We're talking the guts of electric vehicles, the brains behind renewable energy grids. Even something as ubiquitous as your smartphone wouldn't be possible without these systems.
It's easy to take that for granted. Like, I never really think about what makes my phone work.
Right. But it takes a special kind of engineer to bring it all together.
And it sounds like it's not a solo job either. The RoleCatcher guides made a point of saying this isn't about being tucked away in a lab, right?
Not at all. Collaboration is key. Power electronics engineers, they're working in teams, often directly with mechanical and software engineers. In fact, RoleCatcher actually mentioned that employers are specifically looking for engineers who can bridge those gaps, people who can communicate those complex technical ideas clearly and work effectively in that kind of multidisciplinary environment.
So it's as much about communication and teamwork as it is about technical expertise.
Exactly. Those soft skills, they're essential.
If that makes sense.
Mm.
Okay, but let's rewind a bit. Let's say someone's listening and they're like, this sounds awesome, but where do I even begin? What does it take to become a power electronics engineer in the first place?
Well, a strong foundation in electrical engineering, that's definitely the starting point.
Mhm.
We're seeing recommendations for bachelor's degrees, and, well, power electronics is an obvious one, but also control systems, or even a more specialized degree in renewable energy engineering if someone knows that's where their passion lies.
So you've got that educational base. Then what about the actual skills you need to thrive in this field? The material we have here, it actually gets into some really specific skills.
It does, and it's interesting because some of these skills, they go beyond what you might traditionally think of when you picture an engineer. Of course, a strong grasp of mathematics is a given, but things like, solid reading comprehension, active listening, critical thinking, those are all crucial as well.
So you're saying that being able to really analyze information, communicate it effectively, solve problems collaboratively, those are just as important as understanding the technical stuff.
Absolutely. In a field as dynamic as power electronics, innovation often happens at the intersection of disciplines.
Yeah.
And being able to navigate those intersections effectively, it requires a really diverse skill set.
I can see that. It's like you need that whole package.
Right. And that's where something like RoleCatcher, that can be a game changer.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Let's say you've got the fundamentals down, you're ready to jump into the job market. How does RoleCatcher give you an edge in a competitive landscape?
It's really about working smarter, not just harder. See, RoleCatcher, it goes beyond those typical job boards. They actually dig into those job descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
and they can even take a look at your CV.
Oh, really? They'll look at your CV too.
Yeah, and they can actually pinpoint where there might be gaps in your skills or experience. Think of it like a personalized roadmap for your job search.
So it's not just about finding any job, it's about finding the right job, one that actually aligns with your unique skills and experience.
Exactly. And they don't just highlight the gaps. They actually provide, like, actionable advice.
Hmm.
They might suggest certain certifications, for example, that could really make you stand out in a pool of applicants.
Now that you mention it, I do remember seeing something about certifications. One that stuck with me was the CPEP, the Certified Power Electronics Professional. What's the deal with that one?
Ah, yes.
Oh.
The CPEP. It's basically a way to demonstrate your expertise, your commitment to this field, a mark of quality, if you will. And employers, no matter what the industry, they like to see that you have the skills and knowledge to meet, those industry standards.
Makes sense. And there are a few others mentioned as well, like the Certified Electronics Technician and the Certified Energy Manager. Is that right?
You've got a good eye. Yes, those two. And I think it speaks to the breadth of the power electronics world. Whether someone's passionate about consumer electronics, or maybe they're drawn to renewable energy systems, or even electric vehicles, there's a path for them. And these certifications can help signal their specialization. you know. It helps employers see where their skills and interests really align within this vast field.
It's like choosing your own adventure, but for your career.
Huh, I like that. And speaking of paths, RoleCatcher, they don't just leave you hanging. They link out to all sorts of other resources, professional organizations, industry publications, even government data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics,
So it's like a one-stop shop for everything power electronics.
pretty much. And it's not just for newcomers either. Even seasoned professionals can benefit from staying plugged into the power electronics community.
Right, because things are changing so fast.
Exactly. Staying current on the latest research, connecting with experts, maybe finding mentors. You never know where those connections might lead.
It's all about networking.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, they've even got this whole section dedicated to frequently asked questions about the field stuff, like, salary expectations, different industry breakdowns. They've really thought of everything.
They really have. It's pretty comprehensive.
It is. And I think those FAQs can be especially helpful in clearing up any misconceptions about the field. Like, some people might assume that power electronics is very, I don't know, niche, when in reality, it's so incredibly diverse and impactful. I mean, it touches almost every aspect of our lives.
That's so true. You don't always think about it, but it's everywhere.
It really is. And it's not just about designing circuits in isolation. Power electronics engineers, they're involved in every stage of product development, from brainstorming those initial concepts to actually testing and implementing the final product. It's a very hands-on field.
That makes sense. So it's a blend of that theoretical knowledge and those practical problem-solving skills.
Exactly. You need that solid foundation, those core principles, but you also need to be able to think critically, problem solve, and really work well with others to make those ideas a reality.
It sounds challenging, but incredibly rewarding. And, RoleCatcher, they don't shy away from those challenges either. They're very upfront about the fact that this is a field that requires constant learning and adaptation. You can't just rest on your laurels.
And that's what makes it so exciting. As technology advances and new challenges pop up, power electronics engineers, they're right there on the front lines developing those innovative solutions that shape the future. It's a career with the potential to power not just devices and systems, but your own personal and professional growth as well.
And speaking of powering growth, we've talked a bit about RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools, but I want to circle back to the interview practice feature. Can you tell me a little more about that? What makes it so unique?
Yeah, we've mentioned it a few times, but haven't really dug into it. It's one of those things that sounds almost too good to be true, but it really is a game changer, especially for anyone who gets nervous about interviews, which, let's face it, is most of us.
Ha! Yeah, I can relate to that.
So what makes it so special is that it doesn't just throw random questions at you. It simulates a real interview setting, tailored to the specific roles and companies you're interested in.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just generic interview advice, it's really targeted.
Exactly. And it gives you this incredibly detailed feedback. I mean, it analyzes not just what you say, but how you say it. Your tone of voice, even your body language, the AI picks up on all of it.
Wait, body language too. How does it do that?
It uses your webcam, if you have one. But even if you don't, it can still analyze your tone and pacing, which are crucial in how you come across.
That's wild. It's like having a personal coach in your computer, but available anytime, day or night.
That's a great way to put it. And the feedback is super specific. It's not just you need to be more confident. It's more like, try pausing for a beat after you answer a question to give the interviewer a chance to respond, that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Those are really practical tips.
Right. It's all about those subtle things that can make a big difference in how you're perceived.
Okay, that's incredibly helpful. But even with all the best preparation in the world, I'm sure there are always curveballs in an interview. You just never know what they're going to throw at you, right?
So true. You can't prepare for everything.
Yeah.
And that's where those core skills we were talking about earlier, those really come into play. Your critical thinking, your problem-solving abilities, being able to think on your feet, those are essential for navigating those unexpected moments.
It's about being adaptable, right? Being able to think creatively and confidently, even under pressure.
Exactly. It's those human elements that really set you apart.
So if someone's listening to this and they're feeling totally fired up about power electronics, what advice would you give them? What does it take to not just survive, but to really thrive in this field?
Honestly, embrace the challenge. This is a field that's constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, so be a lifelong learner. Never stop being curious. Never stop asking questions.
I like that. Never stop learning.
Right. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Network with other professionals. Seek out mentors. And honestly, getting connected with a platform like RoleCatcher early on, that's a smart move. It's like having that head start, that insider knowledge of what employers are looking for so you can tailor your learning and your job search accordingly.
It's like you said earlier, it's about finding the right path for you within this huge and expanding field.
Exactly. Because let's be honest, a career in power electronics, it's not just a job. It's a chance to be on the cutting edge of innovation, to have a real impact on how we live, how we power our world.
Absolutely. And as we're all becoming more conscious of our energy consumption, the work of power electronics engineers is only going to become more important in the years to come.
Right. From developing more efficient electric vehicles to designing smart grids that integrate renewable energy sources, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's exciting to think about.
It really is an exciting time to be in this field.
Well, there you have it. We've taken a deep dive into the world of power electronics, engineering the demands, the rewards, and the huge impact it has on our lives. Hopefully, you're feeling energized, informed, and ready to take on this dynamic and rewarding career path.